Hello, everybody. Hello, Magic. How are you?
Hello, nice to see you, Vincent. Long time no see. Hello, everybody.
Long time no
I'm
see.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
So, Magic, can you maybe present a little bit yourself? Where you from and what's your IKO level?
Yes, I am the IKO examiner since last year. I'm from Poland, running Banana Kite and Surf School in Chałupy, in our spot on Pucka Bay.
All right, very good. And I'm Vincent here at Cabaret office, training coordinator, also examiner. And we're here about 1 hour to chat together. Everybody, hello, Luca. Say hello. Everybody can ask any question they want in the Facebook. That's the whole point of those lives. We want to try to answer as many questions as possible and maybe inspire other people to become examiner like Magic. Maybe you can start quickly into telling us what was your experience, because you're one of the last trained and certified examiner at IKEO.
My story about becoming examiner. So actually, I decided to start going higher with the IKO and the international kiteboarding career, professional career. When I met you, we met in Vietnam, as you remember. You came for the training, and actually, thanks to your opinion and thanks to your information about the future of IKO and the changes that will come and improvements that will come, you motivated me to start thinking seriously about applying to become examiner. It was sending the CV. It was a long process. It took me 2 years, more than 2 years, since I become assistant trainer to become examiner. It was 3 examiner weeks when I was trained by training masters, and therefore big thanks for you, for Stefan Zatt and Mariano Lorenzetti, who was the last trainer in Tarifa for me. And it was a big moment when I passed the final exam and I was able to become examiner. I'm really happy about it still. I'm proud to be representative of IKO in Poland, and looking forward for more and more improvement and giving good examples for all the people who want to become instructors and also expand their careers in kiteboarding.
All right, very good. So for those who don't know, maybe examiner is the highest level we have at IKEO. And Magic, so now is able to train instructor, the next generation of instructors. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about something that is not new, but the way that we lately pushing more and more people to wear helmets. Maybe you wear also a helmet. I don't know, in your own practice. Maybe you can tell us some stuff about that.
Yes. Hello, Emilian. This is the next follower, our instructor from this season.
Vitam means hello?
Yes. Vitam, right. Emilian.
Vitam, Emilian.
So yes, I do wear a helmet. Actually, it started in Vietnam when I was hit by a rider when I was in the water. I was hit by a rider in my head. I got 3 stitches on my head. I was out for teaching, for kiting for 1 week. And since then, I started to think seriously about wearing a helmet, not only for teaching kiteboarding, but only for myself while riding. And many people can see me now on the spot in Poland or in Vietnam or everywhere I go. I wear a helmet. Sometimes they ask me questions, why? It's just for the safety, the easiest explanation that can be. I encourage. Yes, it's the head, the most important part of my body. So I encourage all the time people to wear helmets. It's more and more visible now on the spot. Some people that were having trainings with us, assistants or instructors, they start to wear helmets, which is giving also good example for all the other riders on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's like for snowboarding. Back then in the 90s, when we all start, nobody was wearing helmets. And now when you go to a mountain, everybody, every single one, almost everybody, even young people are wearing helmets, right? And I guess in kiteboarding, we want to do the same thing at IKEA. That's why we push more and more people. Nowadays, every student of any course is mandatory to have an helmet. Even an examiner candidate, for example, it's not mandatory for people, for instructor to wear them yet, but yet it's a good habit and it's a great example. Definitely, if you as an examiner, you're wearing one. It's the head. What else can we say?
Yes, I can add, I did some research last year. I was posting on a Polish forum a question about wearing helmets. And I got also information, feedbacks from other countries, from Germany, for example, from Denmark, and it was pretty interesting. My friend who is living in Denmark, she said that, Maciej, everybody wants to go back home after kiting to their families, to their wives, to their husbands, in one piece. So, and almost, it's just approximately 80% of people in Denmark kiting wearing helmets. So I'm really I'm believing that it will change also in Poland, and much more people will start using this safety device, as it is, like I said, safety.
Yeah, and it's important, and basically what we do at IKEA, we want people to learn kitesurf, of course, but as you mentioned, it's interesting, like we want the people to learn and then ride safely. So yeah, they enjoy the session, and they go back home in one piece to see their wives, husband, and children or friends. And that's the whole point of that. We often say that kiteboarding can be an extreme sport. It is true. But nowadays, if you learn it with serious school, IKEA center, IKEA instructors, the chances of serious accident are really, 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 really low. You may have a stain or something like this sometime, a bit of bad luck, but most of the time, like serious accidents are almost all the time avoided when we follow those rules. And of course, wearing a helmet, it's the basic of safety equipment. Maybe you can introduce, and I will finish because we continue a bit in the term of accident and stuff like this, about the insurance of IKEA. You can introduce the subject and I will finish because I know more about it. But what can you say about that?
Yes, for many years that was something that was missing in the IKEA policy. But since this year, I was really happy to read the announcement that the worldwide insurance is available for recreational kiteboarding, for liability, and also for equipment insurance. So that really improved the service we provide, and I think it's next step to become better and better in providing the safest conditions for our students and for other instructors.
Exactly, yeah, no, so that's the new thing we have introduced at IKEA. Now everyone has an insurance included on the membership. Of course, the membership has gone a little bit higher because it's included, but it's a great thing because if you travel and have an accident, if you break the kite of somebody else, if you have an injury while you're teaching or while you are riding, you will be covered. And that's a great thing because insurance are very hard to find, and especially when you travel for kiters, and we kiters love to travel, to go to Brazil, to go to Vietnam, to go to Cape Town or Cabarete here, or Poland, which is an awesome flat water spot. Sorry about that. And yeah, so people are covered, so which is basically better because before that it was hard and many people were actually not covered. We were traveling the world and teaching, and most of the people not really well covered, so it was not really safe, let's say. But now that's fixed, so yeah, that's a good thing, and everybody can have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Next topic, maybe you want to talk a little bit about translation, because there's something new about new language at ICAO, and you're helping on that.
Yes, it's a big challenge. It was a big challenge for me. At the beginning of 2020, we finished translation of Assistant Manual, and we put it on the trainings already this season. And at this moment, I am translating all the rest of the content, which is the website in Polish, the ICAO app also. And most importantly, the instructor manual, which I think will be more accessible for people who are not speaking English, but they do speak other languages. Like one of the candidates I had on the course, which is actually Emilian. Again, he's speaking French, he's speaking Italian, but his English was, let's say, medium. And he was really happy to have it in Polish, because now he can transform the language to French and Italian and teach in these languages. So hopefully by the end of the year, I'm sure by the end of the year, the instructor manual will be ready, and all the rest of the content, including assistant exam, and which was not translated yet, but on Monday actually I'm finishing it, so it will be done, and then as instructor exam as well, probably.
Great. We have a comment about Justina's that say, I would like to watch, but sound quality is so bad. Can you hear me well, Maciej, on your side?
Yes, I'm hearing you well.
Because I do listen to you. Can anyone that is watching can confirm if they listen well or not on the comment of Facebook? We would appreciate that. About the translation, yes, thank you so much for that. It's a new language, so that's going to be 7 languages for ICAO. And we currently have, of course, English. Then we have French, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, German. And we will have Polish soon. And hopefully tomorrow it's going to be some Chinese and maybe Arabic. We start working on that to Russian too. So that's going to be a bit the future of ICAO. And the idea, again, is to open ourselves as much as possible to any country in the world, especially with languages that are so different to the English, and to have many Polish instructors, and tomorrow many other countries for sure. So thank you for that. It's a lot of work for you, Maciej. We constantly are sending you content to translate, and I know because we do it in English to translate it. It's a lot. Talking about the thing of 2020, the famous, let me introduce you, the COVID. Can you maybe tell a little bit about situation in Poland? And I know you usually travel to South Asia, Vietnam in many winters, and how it does affect you. Hey, Thomas, thank you for confirming it's all right. Thank you, Thomas.
Oh, hi, Thomas. Good to see you here. So about
thank you,
Poland.
Sorry.
Well, in Poland, luckily we didn't have any situation that made us stop running our businesses in Poland since 1st of June until the 30th of September, when we ran our station. Everything was good. There was some like pink zone or orange zones provided by the government, but none of the schools or none of the camping sites where the schools are situated were closed. So we were really happy that it didn't affect us directly. Of course, it affected many kiteboarders who were willing to travel abroad, and because of that, many of them stayed in Poland. Thankfully, some European countries were open. Greece, Italy, Sicily, and Sardinia were open. Many people are still there right now. So, yeah, in Poland, it was good. Regarding Vietnam and Asia, well, the situation is more complicated. At this time of the year, I already had a ticket to Vietnam to go to Mui Ne and work in Sea to Sky Kite Center. But at this moment, there is no flights available. And they are slowly opening flights between Asian countries. As far as I know, it will be possible to go to Korea and other countries, but hopefully they will open some new flights half of October. But the thing is that Vietnam now allows to come only for 1 month, and then you have to make, of course, tests and 2 weeks quarantine. And after 1 month, you need to leave for 1 month, and then you can come back again. So that makes it difficult to stay longer, as we were always staying in Vietnam for 6 months, from October until April. So the plans has changed now. We'll see how it goes. Maybe after New Year, the visa policy will change, so that will allow us to go there again. Philippines, as far as I know, also it's even worse a little bit. Only diplomatics, only high-skilled workers can travel. So no tourism at this moment for regular people who want to go just for kiteboarding. So we are waiting patiently, and maybe it will change soon.
You are a high-skilled person. You should be able to travel. As a examiner, I'm not sure they want that. We have the hello from Zenith Kiting, which is the great Maciej back there. Oi, oi.
Hello, Maciej.
Hello, Maciej. Hope you're all right over there in England. IKO examiner also. He also goes to Vietnam, Mui Ne. Sea to Sky Kite School, no? I always mix the name because there's so many names we have at IKO. All right, so yeah, COVID makes things complicated. For people who want the information about Cabarete, here it's pretty open. You can come. There is a lockdown at night, but in the day, surprisingly, the virus does not affect humans, only at night. But for travelers, it's open, and they have done a good thing to push the tourism back. There is tourist insurance related to COVID. It means that if you travel to DR and you have the COVID, you get the COVID here. It's pretty unlikely because I'm living here and I haven't had it, but you never know. You will be covered by the government of Dominican Republic for all the expenses you may have, and quarantines and anything, hotel, anything to cover you. So it's to welcome people here and push the tourism back, which is very important for Dominican Republic. Maciej, let's move on to another subject. Maybe you can talk a little bit about updates of manuals, things we often do here, and if it's good, how often is it, I don't know. What you have to say about that?
Well, I was really surprised positively when I got the new actually version of Instructor Manual, version 7. Basically, in short, I can say that the workflow, it was really awesome. Running the course with the new manual was much easier and smoother than the previous one I was learning on, actually. And yeah, some things were updated. Cannot think about it just right now. Still a bit nervous.
It's a bit the whole thing, but it's always for people who don't know. I often say what I like about IKO and what made me fall in love with that company and way of doing things is like it's open. It's an open mind company, and everybody can basically bring his little stone to build up the wall. So everybody that with knowledge, so of course examiners, assistant trainers, but actually even an instructor level 1 that knows stuff that we can add and share, is welcome to share the knowledge, and we will of course study it. We will see whether if it has to be included or not. We will test it if it's a new technique, and we will eventually include it in the new manuals that we rethink. And I always said the last manual, so in this situation, the Instructor Manual number 7, it's already old. We're already working on number 8, but of course the number 7 is really great. It's a great improvement compared to the last one. And hopefully the next one will be great, will be even better. And that's thanks to guys like you, because you are pro trainers and you work on the field. So you know what you're talking about. And there are 30 like you. So at the end of the day, IKEO is strong because of this. Because it's not one person thing on the office like some other organization may do. It's plenty of people that are directly on the field and working with that. So examiner like you share the knowledge, test it, and then directly we do it, we include it or not. And we are here actually about talking with trainers. Leif Nourish, who is an examiner from Dominican Republic. He's at Las Terrenas, which is that way, like 3 hours from me. It's really a wonderful place, Las Terrenas, for people who never know. So I really recommend people to come visit Dominican Republic. Cabarete, of course, it's a place to be. But you have Las Terrenas, which is really, really nice, flat water sport. You surf the waves and clear blue water like on my back. So it's really Caribbean style. And you don't need wetsuit. So you know the things you guys always wear all the time, all year long. It's here. You can leave it home. And I'm a kind of freezy person. I get cold very fast. I never have used a wetsuit even for surfing at 5 a.m. in the morning. Okay,
that's great.
It's awesome. That's one of the best things. But yeah, many things. But on top of having great condition all year long, it's never use a wetsuit. I mean, it's fantastic.
So on top of the Instructor Manual upgrade, just wanted to mention that thanks to the feedbacks of candidates for instructors, you decided as an office, you decided to improve again the trainings for assistants, creating the series of videos which we are currently developing. Maybe you can tell more about it. I might say that it's just another thing that I'm happy about. 16 episodes of videos that will prepare future instructors earlier, before the course starts, the real course starts. There is an online training to prepare the candidates.
All right, so I will talk about that. Before, I will just say hello to IKEO, who say hi. So the IKEO say hi to us, so it's perfect. And
hello to all the team of IKEO.
Nice all the team of IKEO. They are all there. Actually, here it's lunchtime. I have Rafa over there that is coming with lunch and many other people. One day maybe I can present them all. And we have Leif to close the debate about wetsuit. He said, chicken like me use wetsuit. That's because you hold, Leif. And also, you're not that chicken, because when I see the wave you have been riding last week, we have had like 2 weeks of huge swell thanks to Teddy, the hurricane that was in front of Bermuda. And Leif has a great picture of him riding one of those baby. So you're not that of a chicken, Leif. About the videos you mentioned, yes, that's a new project we are developing inside IKEO. What is the problem we have to pro trainings, and especially the assistant? There is too much information for, let's say, normal brain, normal person to absorb in 5 days. So in the near future, any candidate that will attend an assistant course will have to pass first the module number 1, which is e-learning part. So you mentioned the 16 videos. It's going to be 16 videos, actually 14 from the theory and 2. The first one is introduction and last one conclusion. So 14 theoretical videos that are the same content that is covered during the assistant course. This way, the brains are going to be a bit prepared for the course, and it's not going to be new information, because one of the feedback we have often on those courses is like, wow, thanks guys, it's great information, but it's too much. And unfortunately, most of the people, they have not the capacity to absorb so many information. So it will be done before, and from this some quiz also for the candidates, and then thanks to that, once they will arrive to the training, to the start training, information will already be a little bit there. And once again, thank you for translation, because you help us on translation for the contents, and also you're gonna do the voice over for the Polish version. So we're gonna hear you. Every Polish candidate will hear your voice before attending a course. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that too.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good thing, and if it works, and it's gonna work, we're gonna also do it probably next year for the instructor course. The idea is to take out some information and to put it before to the candidates, and especially if somebody is serious, they can rewatch the video over and over and really get ready and take the most of it during the live course, because 5 days it's a lot and it's very short at the same time, so it's better to come prepared. We have Leif that is laughing about the West stuff. We have Guido say hello everybody. Guido is a great assistant trainer from Italy. We have Byron. Hello brothers and sisters.
Hello Byron.
You know him, I guess?
Yes, he was the candidate in Vietnam for our assistant course and later instructor with Maciej.
Awesome. And we have Aga who say whoopee whoopee.
Yes.
Hello.
And Aga is the owner of school in Diani Beach, as far as I know. We didn't met personally, but hello Aga.
Hello Aga.
Good to see you here.
Remember, guys, it's great to say hello, but if you have any question to ask to a couple of trainers, that we are myself and Magic, like Magic Johnson, I always like the way to pronounce it. I'm a great fan of Magic Johnson, so it's always easy to remember. And yeah, you can ask all the questions you want about IKO, the standard, about banana kite and surf, which is your school, about Poland, about anything you like. We are pleased to answer any kind of question. What else we can talk about? Maybe your experience also in Vietnam when it was more open for people who like to travel. Mui Ne, it's a very known destination. Maybe you can share a couple of things, anecdotes about this place for people who want to go there.
Yeah, so why Vietnam? It started 7 years ago already. That was my first season there. And I really like the place, basically because of the wind. Vietnam has trade winds blowing almost 6 months a year. So it's pretty long season. And it's constant wind every day from 10 till 5, 6 p.m. One direction changing a little bit from side onshore to side shore, so the safest directions we can have in kiteboarding. The spot is a deep water spot and a little bit choppy and with a shore break. So sometimes when the swells are coming from the sea, we have to stop training, but this is the time for us to enjoy the big waves and train wave riding and also strapless freestyle, which many of my friends started to train in Vietnam since 3 years, and we are really progressing with the strapless freestyle. That's after twin tip, that became my #1 discipline now. Basically, the lifestyle is great. It's, as I heard, Dominican Republic is one street close to the shore going along the beach, and the same is in Vietnam. So you run over people all the time, you meet friends, you meet fellow instructors in restaurants, having breakfast before going to teach. Then you meet them on the beach, then you meet them again after teaching day on lunch. So the lifestyle is great. It's pretty cheap to live there. Accommodation and food, which is it's actually great. It's not pretty good, it's great food. Variety of different meat from chicken, pork, beef to seafood, which is the most famous actually in Muine. Yeah, the day is pretty equal with night. So at 6 we have sunset, and 5, 6 a.m. we have sunrise. So it's like kind of settled, let's say, 12 hours and 12 hours. And you can sleep a lot because the wind starts most of the time at 10 or 11 a.m. So you have time for your morning yoga or exercises to do. You don't have to wake up at 6 or 7. I'm a sleeper a little bit, so I like to sleep a little bit longer, and that really suits me well in Vietnam. Basically, before the COVID, it was really easy to get there. Flights directly from Poland, from Warsaw, with charter, and other flights, of course, with Emirates or other companies. It took around 12 hours to get there. And then from Ho Chi Minh City to Muine, it's a 4 or 5 hour transfer with a bus. And you arrive on the spot. And actually, the same day you arrive, you can start kiting, because January and February, as I counted, it was 95% of windy days. So pretty good conditions.
When is the season starting and ending?
Basically, it starts in October, but it's like quiet time. November starts to speed up, and Christmas time is like a big boom in Muine because of the wind conditions. In December, we might have sometimes 2 to 3 hurricanes that are not affecting the land itself. It's not providing any damages or something. It's just that the wind disappears for some time. Anyway, it lasts until April. This season, 6th of April, it was still 20 knots of wind, and we had a lot of fun. Less students, of course, so time for us to go and progress every day riding.
And enjoy the riding. Yeah, that's the strapless thing. I'm here too. I'm guilty too. That maybe that's what you call getting older, when you stop twin tip and you start enjoying more the strapless. But yeah, I have the same. And I remember when I was back in Muine, that conditions are great. I can confirm that. I can confirm sometimes it's challenging also to teach. And yeah, in a way, it's similar to Cabarete, even if, let's say, more developed. It's Cabarete. It's much smaller over there. Like I remember the restaurants, hotels. It's really big and stuff like this. Cabarete, you only have small stuff, but in a way, yeah, it's similar. It's similar. Both places. We also here, people probably know that, but we also here have trade winds that are great almost all year long. Right now we are in low season. Actually, today it's not windy and it's very rare here. But from almost December until September, it's you can come anytime you want, and you will have some wind. Especially nowadays with the foil, the other foil, there is almost no day you cannot kite here at Cabarete. Maybe 15 days a year. But if you know how to idle foil, it's a fantastic place too, like Muine. I remember also the food, as you mentioned. It's a great place for that. That's a bit the point of all this kiteboarding field, right? People start to travel and discover countries they probably would have never gone without the kiteboarding. Maybe that's your case. Why did you choose actually Muine? Did you know somebody over there? Or it was discovering and luck?
Yeah, that was actually my idea when I started, because I was running a school in my home region in Mazure in Poland, on the lake many years ago. And I was just 5 days of wind per month. So I decided I need to explore, I need to improve, and I need to meet some more people, because that was the time I wanted to quit my job. I was working 7 years in the hotel industry. I was managing a hotel in Mazure. And I went to Polish capital of kitesurfing, Hel Peninsula, to meet some people and to get ideas where to go when I quit my job. And I met now my close friend Tommy, who also recommended me Dominican Republic. He was there for 2 years. But anyway, he said about Vietnam a lot of good things. And he said that he's coming there actually after Polish season. So I said, okay, I'm in. I just went there, and it's already been 7 years. I don't know when it passed. So just to mention that, comparing Cabarete to Muine, the water is not so turquoise as you have there. It's not because it's dirty, it's just because of the bottom, that is special kind of sand that makes the water kind of greenish, brownish. So that's the main difference between these two spots. But anyway, the water is 27 degrees, no wetsuit for the whole season, and the average temperature of the air is 29, 32 degrees. Just wanted to say hello to Janek, our very good friend, ultra kiteboarder from Poland, crossing the seas. Hello, Janek.
Hello, Yannick. And we also have a good question from Byron that I will answer. As IKEA consider to build teaching courses for snow kiting, so in the past we were doing that. We have stopped because the reason is like it's a small market and it's evolving like differently than the water sport, and we wanted to focus on the water. This being said, I know by experience that anyway, if you want to be a snow kite instructor, you have to be a snowboard instructor or ski instructor. So that's first. So you have the knowledge about the mountain. Then you take the IKO course for the water. It's basically the same, because water is harder than snow. If you remove the problem, let's say the problem of the mountain, the avalanche and stuff like this. So this knowledge, you will have it in any ski or snow instructor courses, normal courses. And with the kite thing, then for example, the level 1 in water, in snow, or even in earth, the power kite will be exactly the same. We're talking about piloting a kite and what to do in case of danger, landing, launching kites, self-landing. Sorry about that, guys. And then you can just simply adapt it to the snow. So that's what most people do nowadays. Because at the end of the day, it's the same sport, and the most complicated thing would be the water start. But in snow kite, you already stand up on your board, so it's actually really easy to do it, to learn it, because people, they will know already how to snowboard or how to ski. Then it's just the knowledge, the piloting thing of the kite, and you're good to go. So let's say it's a bit all together. But we don't have special courses for that. So I would really recommend to anyone to do that, to first be snow or ski instructor, and then take an IKO course and mix it up, and it will work fine. We have Guido that has the same experience than you, and say he quit hotel industry after 19 years. That's a bit, for anyone listening, that's a bit what is great about IKO, is like it's a life-changing. Myself also, I quit another job before. I was selling wine in Africa before that, and yeah, same kind of story than Magic. Long story short, decided to quit and follow an IKO course, an ITC, and from there, like 10 days after, I like to share that story because I was in Spain with no work, like many people back then, and hard. It was hard. The situation was kind of hard, the economy and everything. I took the course, the IKO course. I was like, okay, I don't know, I'm gonna give it a go, but I'm not really sure if actually it's a scam or what, because you pay money to people you don't know. You have a diploma, and then what? Yeah, you're gonna find a job. And so that was true. 10 days after the end of my ITC, I was taking off in a plane from Madrid to Mexico, and I started working in Mexico without any private contact in Mexico. So it is great, because it really helps you change your life and work from what you like. So that's the experience I have, that's the experience Maciej have, and Guido and many other people have this one. So it's really great courses for this. It's a life-changing.
Yes.
We have Guido again talking about using short line in a snow kite will be even more recommended. What can you tell us about short line, Magic?
Well, it's a great thing, and I would recommend every instructor which is not ICAO certified to use it. It helps a lot. It makes our life much easier, and the life of students actually much easier. There was a lot of situations that we had students after other schools that were not using short lines coming to our station and asking about the lessons, which were actually scared a little bit. They had some traumas from previous experience with inexperienced, not certified instructors, overpowered when water starting, too much power, and we have to convince them actually sometimes in a polite way actually to try again with the shorter lines, because for water starts we don't need 24-25 meter lines. For light people, I use most of the time 16 to 18 meter lines, and it works great. They get more confidence in the steering of the kite, in controlling the kite, and it makes them achieve the goals in a nicer, more safer way actually. So using the short lines, even in Poland when the winds are not strong, like in Tarifa for example, we have average of 15 to 20 knots. I use 5 meter lines from the very beginning, so each student coming for a lesson gets the 5 meter lines, and then it's like, wow, it's not so difficult as I thought, it's not so dangerous as I thought. It helps it helps the community, improves the communication between instructor and the student. It requires less space actually, because 4 or 5 instructors can take, let's say, 100 square meters instead of 500 square meters, especially when the spots are overcrowded with other riders, with other schools, having a lot of students and a lot of instructors. So that was also a game changer for me when I attended when I started to teach actually in Vietnam, because this is a normal thing there to use short lines on the beach and even in the water. And then I transferred this to Poland. When I started to run a school, that was the first thing to do, to set up short trainer bars, to have the students more relaxed and more happy actually, because they progress faster.
Yeah, it's life-changing. That's also the good things we have. That's something we have included long time ago actually, and we're still pushing because there are still many people that do not use them. To me, it's hard to understand, but maybe because they haven't seen the point yet. I always refer to it like it's like when you learn how to drive a car. You're not going to go on a Ferrari on day one. You're going to go on a small Fiat Punto car. Okay, you're going to learn to steer, to stop, to spark, everything. And as soon as you're good with that, I can give you the keys of my Ferrari, which is over there, parked in front of the ICAO office. And they go, hey, look, it's exactly the same, but just more power. So be careful when you accelerate. And the chances of accident are much lower. Of course, you can learn to drive a car directly on a Ferrari. That I guess it's possible. Like you can learn kiteboarding with long line for sure, but it doesn't really make sense. As you mentioned, plenty of advantages, less space, also less kite needed for a lesson, also less broken kite, so that makes the school owner very happy, because kite investment is one of the biggest expenses of any kite school. And yeah, the student learn how to steer that thing, that slide, and little by little we give a bit more power, and then as soon as he has full length, the student knows how to steer, knows how to do what to do in case of safety issue. And again, the chances of serious accident, as we talked at the beginning, are really getting low with those techniques. And I really recommend anyone that is listening that has never tried it to try. Recently, I've taught a friend of mine, a girl. She was a bit afraid about kiteboarding in general because a bit fear person. And her main concern was this, like, and again, as every time it happens with short line, as soon as I give her the kite, as you said before, she said like, oh wow, it's not dangerous. I don't feel danger. So I'm gonna learn it faster. Yeah, of course. That's all the point. And you as an instructor, you have less white hair because you don't need to be hanging on your student harness as you see all old school stuff with the student flying like this, which is totally crazy. So I would really recommend anyone that even if not IKEA, you're welcome, that's our things, but we're happy to share. Use short line, less equipment needed, less broken kite, less space, less stress, less fear, less accident, all positive, all great. We have Byron actually that confirmed that for teaching all short line are the best, exactly. We have Guido again. I would like to say that they are a great tool for instructor, but also any independent rider. We are not talking about 5 meters. For rider, but 15 or 18 meters are an excellent compromise. Why does Guido say that? Can you explain a little bit what is the advantage of shorter line for an experienced rider and for which kind of style, let's say?
Well, I started to use short lines for riding waves actually in Vietnam, which is it makes the wind window a little bit smaller, and the kite's reactions are faster. The kite turns faster, so you can actually ride the wave a little bit longer than with the longer lines. And also,
when you have a big wave on your back, you also want to have some great reactivity from your kite, because sometimes you really need to send it back and forth. So that's the point. Sorry, then I cut you. You wanted to say?
I forgot. But anyway, it's just making the riding better, especially with strong winds and big waves when you use small kites and 18-meter lines. Actually, the producers started to follow that. When I bought one of my kites, I had originally 19-meter lines for wave riding. So I had to, when I wanted to jump, I had to, of course, extend them a little bit. I put extensions for meters, but always I could change to 19-meter lines. So that's also great from producers that they are giving us this opportunity to have the shorter lines.
That's great. And also, let's say there is also for hydrofoil racing. If you guys see at the beach now that we can see more and more on hydrofoil and foil kite, so not inflatable but foil. So the other ones, the one look like a parachute for people who don't know. They are also riding on 15 meters, 18-meter lines, shorter lines, to have better upwind abilities too, and reaction also, because they may do it in very light wind sometimes. So yeah, changing the line length is also for extreme wake style. Maybe not 15 meters, but 18, 20 meters will work great to have to do those aggressive tricks. So we invite you to try these things out. It's excellent. And as mentioned, Guido, I would say we're not talking about 5, but why not? And actually, Guido has a great video of him riding on 5 meters. During instructor courses, we always, well, not always, but if the wind is strong, I personally, as a trainer, I ask my instructor candidates to do the riding test on smaller line, 10 meters, 12 meters, and even sometimes 5, why not? So they see that it's actually possible. Of course, the water star will be a bit more challenging because you really have to move a lot the kite and the wind window gets so small. So it's hard to create some speed. But as soon as you got out of the water, magic happened. Magic. You're right with 5-meter lines.
Yes, I would like to add one more thing, because as we, in our station in Banana Kite and Surf, we run a service repair, and we specialize in kite repairs and also bar repairs, control bar repairs. I had already few customers asking me to cut the lines for kite loops, because aggressive kite loops are much better with 20-meter lines than with 24 or 25. So that was also a good thing to hear, that people people know about it, and they try it, and they test it and they like it. So kite loops, big loops with shorter lines are much better, more powerful.
I've seen some videos of Dutchies in Cape Town, especially with quite short lines, I believe around 15 meters or something like this, doing some crazy, insane mega loop. And the kite, it's so reactive and can get so low and back up so very fast. So yeah, it's again, it's important to test things and really know where you're at, what progression you want, and why do you want 24-meter lines or 19 or 18? Why not? Again, for people who are a bit lost with those line length, it's always good to go visit Maciej or any similar person, and they will explain you more, or do some advanced lesson, explain you, make you try also, and explain you the reason why to have a bit shorter or sometimes longer lines, depending on what you want to do. And it's not the same if you do racing or if you do wake style, sorry, or if you do wave riding, strapless, and freestyle. All those disciplines are different. And we have Guido confirming core riders use 18 meters. Yeah, that was my impression. Most of the time, the core. Thank you, Guido, for reactivity. So yeah, shorter line, new techniques. Maybe you can give us. Let's go back a little bit in riding. So you said now you are really into wave riding, strapless. For people starting, maybe you can share 1 or 2 tips for this discipline to make their life easier, funnier, anything you want.
Well, yeah, many people think that riding strapless, basically surfboard, you need to have good wave conditions. Actually, I disagree with them. Always I said, if you want to start going on a directional board, go on flat water, start your first tricks like tack or duck tack or I don't know, back rolls or anything else, hand plants on flat water. This will give you much more confidence, and then you will gain better control of the board and you can go on the waves then. So that was my idea when in Poland, we have sea and the bay, flat water on one side and on the other side of the peninsula. Most of the time we have western winds, which are delivering conditions for flat water, and I was training over there. And then going to Vietnam, for example, for waves, it was much easier. I had already some tricks covered, so the progress was much faster. And for people who are interested in going strapless, just do it. Don't be afraid. It's nothing difficult. It's pretty much the same as you ride a twin tip. You just don't have a straps. And that's how we try to convince our customers who are asking, maybe it's too difficult for me, I'm not ready for that. I said, can you ride upwind on the twin tip? Yes, I can. So you are ready to go strapless. That's not a big deal. It's just changing a little bit mindset, and new opportunities open actually, because I reached some level at twin tip when I was doing some tricks and I was already trying to find something else. And then the strapless came and it opened new chapter in my kiteboarding progression. And since then, I'm still going up, up, up. And I think the next few years, I'll still be reaching the level of the world champions that are getting first places. Like anyway, competing in strapless competition.
You're gonna fight
Kiahi. I think Kiahi, a little bit smoother guy, which I met in Vietnam actually a few years ago. He represents a little bit less extreme variation of strapless. I like to watch him when he's riding. Ayrton, of course, as well. I met him in Tarifa, but for me, it's too extreme what Ayrton does. I'm a little bit older. So
it's amazing. It's crazy. Yeah? He's pushing the level. Really, I met him when he was a kid. Back then, when I was working at the Kite Coop in Cape Verde, he was already impressive, but was not world champion back then. And nowadays, I really follow him also, and all those guys are really impressed. Because, as you said, me too. I am into this strapless thing, and it's amazing. And for a long time, I have been stubborn, and I was on twin tip, and I was like, no, I don't want to try this strapless thing. That's not kites. And at the end, it's amazing because it's another world. So both are great. Actually, also with hydrofoil, it's the third one. The three are great, and what is fantastic is that they are so different, so similar and different at the same time. And as you say, you don't need to have that much high level to ride a surfboard. The only big problem you have at the beginning is to turn, because they are not bi-directional. But most of the people, what they don't know when they start is like straps. They are made you to jump, because when you ride, you push on the board, so you actually don't need straps. They are really helpful for beginners because they know where to put the feet. Because of course, on a directional with no strap, it will be a bit tricky for them, the feet position. But it's not for riding; it's for jumping to keep the board with you when you go up. And so, yeah, I really always say to people, do different stuff. You know, don't do only twin tip or only surf. It will be a pity. You know, those are great. So mix it up. And it's where you get better. And definitely the advice you gave to start on flat water, it's really good because people, I'm guilty, we tried their first time, mine was in Portugal, directly in the ocean with big waves, and it's too challenging because then you lose the board. You don't know how to turn, and the first couple of big sets will really smash you up. So it's important to have discomfort about tacking, with it changing direction for people who don't know. Easily tack, jibe, at least, and be in comfort, and then you can go and challenge those waves, because sometimes, of course, you know what I mean, you have a big set coming up front and you are not well positioned to catch the wave, so you have to be able to escape and turn very fast, otherwise it hits you, and it's not always very, very nice, even if it's a thing you will have to experience. But yeah, that was a great advice. Thank you for that. And we have Guido that is on fire. Guido, as usual, fuoco italiano. Guido, is a wider or longer board better for beginner, with or without strap, trust or quad? Woo! Let's go, Maciej, for you.
Well, actually, it is recommended by IKO to sometimes switch the board and use the directional board for teaching water start, which is which has more volume, and it's easier to maintain balance for the students. So I say yes, longer board might be better wider for a beginner.
For sure.
Depending on the weight, of course, you have to always adapt to the weight and the height of the student. People with lighter people with small foot, they will have problems to push the edge properly when it's too wide. With or without straps, I would say with straps for the beginning, because it's challenging for the person who does not know how to ride to put the strapless board under the feet and apply the pressure, the proper pressure. And about thrust or quad, I guess I would say that's not a big difference for the beginners. They don't feel it. Of course, quad will be faster, but this applies more to wave riding and turning speed. So I think that not really important at this stage for beginners.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, so I agree with mostly what you've said. And nowadays also, we do that at IKO, you can directly learn on a surfboard if you want, with strap would be recommended. Without would be possible, but it would be a bit a waste of time for a total beginner. But you can, and also at IKO, as you mentioned, we do that because sometimes for people struggling, that's a big advice I'm going to give to some instructors that might don't know it. If you struggle with a student on the water start with a twin tip, try a surfboard, because it's actually easier with strap, of course. Because yes, you're going to tell me, but it's not going to turn. Does not really matter, because the beginner will not turn anyway with twin tip. He will eventually crash into the water. So for the very first water start, if that person is struggling with a twin tip, give it a go with a directional board, and you will be surprised because people will it's actually easier to stand on this board. It's also easier to go upwind because of the fins. So it's really something to try out. Okay, Guido again. I'm the master of chicken jive. Wow, that's our Guido. Yeah, so pretty much I think we've covered all we wanted to cover. Is there anything else you want to add before the end of this live, Mr. Maciej?
Yes, Mr. Vincent, as I said, we are running the service repair, and regarding the short lines usage, again, for the managers of the schools, last season I made some calculations, and I counted the kites we were repairing for other schools that were bringing it to us. And it actually came to me that during the season, which this year was shorter, of course, because of the worldwide situation, but during the season, the cost of repairs for some of the schools were around 1,000 euro. So this actually allows you, the short usage of the short lines allows you to save this money and buy a new kite for that. So that's another advantage. It's really, really good to know about it. We didn't repair any kite this season in our station, in our school, because of the short lines. So
that's life-changing. Myself, I started teaching long time ago when it was still long line and stuff like this. Many kites broken. Since I really start to put myself many years ago too with short lines, I haven't broken a kite while teaching anymore. So that's amazing, guys. It's for investment. It's only positive stuff about short lines. We have a couple of more questions, so we're going to continue a bit more on the live. We are still we have Michal that say how to get such a good haircut, guys. I don't know if it's myself or Maciej. For myself, I will answer. I cut myself the hair since 15 years ago, so that's pretty much it. And it's all ocean water to keep it like this. What about you?
hello, Michael. Michael is one of the instructors that works with us in Vietnam, in Sea to Sky. Well, the thing with the haircut is that I went there today to do the haircut, and the lady just overdone it. She went too fast and she cut too short. I was willing to have a little bit longer hair, but I know what you are going to, Michael.
It's gonna grow again eventually,
Yeah.
hopefully.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said. And we have Guido again, beginner intuitive with or without handle magic.
Well, it's actually again about adapting the board to the student. There are some students that are not able to reach the handle. There is for them the handle is not necessary. There is some other techniques that we can use to put the board on. But basically, yes, the handle is much more helpful in regards of body dragging with the board and putting the board on, actually.
Yeah.
So,
but what I would differ a little bit there because, of course, you're right. Handle are there. Many people use it. It's especially when they learn to put the board on, to carry the board. But actually, it's not that necessary. It's an habit we have. But it's totally possible to teach a beginner without a handle because we can to carry the board like normally, like a surfboard. And for the body drags, you will grab the front strap. It will have the same effect. And to put the board on also with the straps. And the advantage of this is like, I don't know the name in English, but it's like if I close my eyes, I can touch my nose and I know where it is because it's the muscle memory I have. I don't know the term. Anyway, so if I grab a foot strap with my hand, my feet can go directly in there without watching, which is good because the beginner will focus more on his kite at this stage when they are putting the kite for the board for the first time. So yeah, it helps, but it's really not necessary at all, and it actually gives great result without. It's also something to try out, guys. It's all the bits we have, but maybe not the best. And look, here we are in the Caribbean, and right now it's raining like hell. Before it was shining. It's really tropical weather, full time, and I already see the blue sky over there coming up. Come, guys, and visit.
I will definitely.
Oh yeah, I know you will next winter. And we have Michal that say it looks good on you. This haircut. The comment doesn't show up on the. I'm sorry, seems to be a bug, but we have Michal saying that it looks good on you. Anyway, it's gonna grow.
Thank you.
So we're reaching the end of this live. Quick conclusion, Magic, before we say bye bye to everybody.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous. My face is still a little bit reddish, but it's because it's so hot in my room. I sit next to the heater, and I didn't open the window, so I'm really like sweating a lot. And yeah, to make a summarize, I'm really happy that we did this live stream, and maybe to encourage more people from Poland or all over the world to join the IKO community and progress and become a professional instructor, assistant trainer, and eventually examiner. It's all open for you guys. That was my dream for some time. For 3 years, I managed to reach this goal, and now the world is open for me, and I'm really happy that I can be the part of this. Thank you all for watching and for following, and I hope we will see you on the water. Hello, Vincent, are you there? Yeah, we lost the connection probably. Unfortunately, I don't have insight to the questions you might ask, so we're gonna wait a little bit more and maybe we get the connection back. I'm not sure what happened. So for all of you who are out of Poland watching us, the season slowly coming to an end, and October is the time for me, for my friends to plan some trips abroad, Europe, Asia, Americas. We'll see how the situation with the flights and with COVID will go on. Still no connection. Agata just mentioned that it's not reddish. I'm just tanned. Yeah, I'm a little bit tanned, but my tan is also reddish. So I don't get brownish too much. Thank you, Agata. Yes, and we have Janek. Good speech, bro. Yeah, thanks for following, Janek. Hopefully we see you soon on the water again. So I'm guessing I'm still live, but I don't have any connection with the Dominican Republic, with Vincent. Can someone confirm maybe if I'm still on the stream? Anyway, I think we have some problems. So basically, thank you again for joining this live stream between training coordinator Vincent Herbillon from IKO and me, Maciej Wondowski from, oh, hello, Karma Kitesurfing. We have some next question from Michael. How long can you survive without kiting? Yes, I think 1 month will be the maximum. And then when I finish my work with the translation of manuals and all the content from English to Polish, definitely some vacation, kiting vacation. So I'm looking forward for it. And maybe you can recommend some spots to travel without being quarantined. and test it. So I was saying that, yeah, Vincent Herbillon from IKO, training coordinator, and me, Maciej Wondowski, IKO examiner, first Polish examiner, and the owner of Banana Kite and Surf School located in Chałupy. Yes, Karma Kite Surfing wrote that in Denmark it's still good to kite, but I think it's a little bit cold. I'm looking for some warmer destination, but why not? Just to visit you guys in Denmark would be great. I was planning to go to Holland anyway, so might be good to pop up in Denmark for a few days and meet you. Okay, we are still on. Now I'm slowly losing my IDs, what to talk about. The host of this stream, Vincent, is not available still. So I guess we're gonna slowly come to an end, guys. And wish you a good evening, wherever you are, or good day. And see you around. Thank you for joining this.